Hello crafters, welcome back to Sasha K Creations. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this cute Gatefold folio album. This is a Christmas version of the album kit volume 8 from 2022. It was originally designed by Maria Cole and she used Charmed for her album. And I used the new Christmas collection, Warm Wishes. To decorate the front, I used a couple of stickers and a piece from the die cut ephemera. And I also used a piece of chipboard. The belt itself I made with some scraps I had left when I was done creating the album. I chose to add some magnets to the front piece so I could open it up like this instead of just a simple belly band. I always kind of struggle to get those back on, so I think that it's a nice easy way to close this up. I did add a little more magnets than I actually needed, but we're gonna get to that later. But as you can see, it's almost too hard to open. But I guess I don't have to worry about it falling off. Now let's have a look inside the album. On the left inside cover, we have a little waterfall. This is made with some of the small journaling cards, and I added some of the die cut from the ephemera pack. I also added one here so I can pull on this to open this up. I also have a couple of magnets in here to keep it closed. And at the bottom I've created a little tuck spot with a sticker. I just placed the sticker on some of the paper and cut it out and added some glue to the bottom. And then we have these two big pocket flaps. Let's start with this one. This is one of the journaling cards and it holds this when closed. Here I used the stamp set and I drew some lines so you can journal. And of course you can add a photo inside the flap. You can also use the journaling cards as photo mats. On the other side I have this paper clip. I made it so I could hold this one down and it opens up like this, and I have created a little pocket up here inside the flap, and then I have a little more stamping going on down here. And on this one, instead of journaling lines, I've kind of created like a frame. And again, this is held closed by this paper clip I made. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now in the big pocket I have this. I used some of the stickers on the front of this one and this folds up. And then I have another journaling card I used as a flap here, and on the back it's just plain. And then on the other side I have something a little different than what Maria created. I have another paper clip, but this one is double-sided, so you actually can't see the clip itself. And then I have these small flaps made with some of the smaller journaling cards. And on the other side I have this little folder glued on. You can place a photo or a journaling card in here, and the other side is also a pocket or a tuck spot. And the paper clip holds on to this side as well. And I also have one of these inside here. This is also decorated with stickers, and under this I have created like a big pocket thingy that I made with some of the cut aparts. but instead of cutting them apart, I just cut in between them so I could use them as pockets. And they do fit the small journaling cards, as you can see. And this is also just plain in the back. And in the middle here we have this big waterfall. It's held close with a magnet, and I used a sticker to cover it up. And this is all big journaling cards. It was such a clever idea from Maria to use these for all the waterfall flaps. It made it so much easier. And this also opens up, and then on the flap itself on the inside I have a little tuck spot at the bottom. And then down here I've created a big pocket. This can hold a big journaling card, and then on top of that I have another smaller pocket. And all the weight from the waterfall is helping to keep this closed. And over here I have these two smaller pockets. Let me see if I can find something to put in them. This one opens from one side and this one opens from the other. And obviously this journaling card is too big. It was just to show you. But maybe for some cute small photos or tiny notes. This album was so easy to make and it was very fast. It only took me about 7 hours, including the time I spent to figure out which papers I wanted on what. I definitely recommend that you go to Graphic45's YouTube channel and watch the tutorial for the original charmed version. But for the warm wishes, here's what you need. A sheet of Graphic45's black chipboard. The warm wishes patterns and solids. The warm wishes 8x8 paper pack. The sticker sheets, the chipboards, the journaling cards, the ephemera pack, and the warm wishes stamp set. Then we also need some inkpad. I'm using brick red and classic black from Graphic45. A sheet of Ivory cardstock, maybe more if you want to do a lot of stamping. And I used 4 magnets inside the album, and I recommend 8 to 10 magnets if you want to do the closure on the outside. I chose to use chipboard for the cover instead of using the packaging like Maria did. The first thing we're going to do is cut our chipboard into pieces. We need 2 front cover pieces that are 3 inches by 8. Then the back cover should be 6 by 8, and the 2 spines are going to be cut into 1 1/4 by 8. And these 2 we're going to put aside. Then we're going to take these 2 sheets from the 8 by 8 pack and cut off the white strips at the top. And we're going to glue our cover together, starting with the left front cover piece. And we are placing that at the edge of the paper. Make sure that the paper is not upside down. Now both of these are cut at 8 inches tall, so it should fit perfectly. Then we're going to take the left spine piece, add our glue, and place that next to the front cover piece. And you need to have some empty space in between so the cover can fold without tearing the paper. And you should leave about 1/8 of an inch. So I just used my ruler. Now on the last bit of paper, you're gonna add your glue, and then you're gonna place the back cover on top of that. Again, remember to leave some space in between. And press that down. Now be sure to burnish, and if you have any excess glue, you can wipe it off with a cloth. And then you're gonna do the same thing, but with the right pieces. Place them in the same way on the other sheet of paper. And of course, this side is gonna be the opposite, so you're gonna start on the right side. And now my daughter has come over to help me, so she is handing me all these things that I definitely need. Again, remember to have that space in between your pieces. I am using my ruler. You can also use 2 layers of your chipboard, or do like Sherry. She had a little 1/8 of an inch strip paper that she put in between. And now it's time to glue the back cover on the right side as well. So we're just gonna do it like we did before and add the glue to the paper first, like so. She's kind of giving away how much stuff I have around my media mat that you can't see on camera. But she only wants to help, so of course that's fine. So now you're gonna place the back cover on top of the other sheet of paper, so you have one big piece now. And here she is writing down my measurements so I don't forget. Make sure to burnish and remove any excess glue, and then we're gonna cover the insides with these 2 sheets, also from the 8x8 pack. And I am trying to glue down just a small bit at a time so my glue doesn't dry out before I'm done. And as you can see, I started adding glue to the middle, and then I'm gonna work my way out like so, adding glue to the spine piece and pressing that down and burnishing. And then I'm gonna add the glue to the front cover piece and burnishing that as well. And then I'm gonna do the other side. This time I'm starting with the cover piece and then the spine and then the back cover. Make sure to add enough glue and get it as close to the edge of the paper as possible. And burnish. Now, I've seen a lot of people having trouble opening up the ink pads, and I think the easiest way to do it is to open it up like a book, because it does have these edges on the sides that you can hold on to. Just a little tip. But we're gonna use the classic black ink pad here and ink the edges on the front and on the back. And you can add as much ink as you want, but I do recommend that you at least get the edges of the paper to get rid of that white line. And remember to clean up. So now we have covered the cover. Now it's time to bend it. Be careful doing this so you don't tear the paper. Then we're going to take the 12x12 patterns and solids and find this sheet. And we're going to cut out a piece that is 6x8 inches and score that in the middle. Fold it so the gold pattern is inside. Ink the edges with the classic black ink pad. And we're going to add a couple of magnets. Place the first one on the left side on the inside, like so. And then place the second one on the outside on the right side. I am using Scor tape for this. Now we're going to make the first waterfall with some small journaling cards, and we're going to use these 5. Score all of them 3/8 from the top, like so. Ink the edges on all the cards. Then we're going to add some glue to the top of the cards and place them on the little folder one by one, and make sure the bottom one lines up with the paper. And make sure that you can open it so you don't have too much glue. And then place the next one about an inch over that. And then the next one 1 inch over that. I'm using the measurements in my media mat to guide me here. And the last one, like so. Now in the ephemera pack, you have these cute little gold snowflake thingies. These 3 are in one piece, so I'm just gonna cut them apart. And this is what they look like. Then we're gonna take one at a time. And this one, the smallest one, I'm placing in the bottom right corner. And the next size I am gonna place above that one. And then the middle one. And the next one. And the biggest one on top. Another little tip, the die pockets from Tim Holtz are great for ephemera. We're going to take that little piece with the bird on and fold in the ribbon on the left side, like so. And then we're going to glue that over the magnet with the bird on the inside. And the other part, that little piece of ribbon, we're going to let that hang out. And we are covering up the magnet. Then we're going to take a sticker from this sticker sheet. And we're going to place that on top of this leftover piece. And we're going to trim off the edges, leaving just a little of the green. And ink the edges and add a thin line of glue to the bottom and place that inside the folder like this. Add some glue to the back and place that on the inside of the left front cover. And now we have this cute little folder with a waterfall on top. Moving on to the left pocket flap, we're going to take this sheet and cut it down to 8 by 12. Then we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. 6 inches and 11.5. Now fold that up with the gold pattern on the outside. Then we're going to take the classic black ink pad again and ink the edges all the way around. Then we're going to add some glue to the small hinge on the left side and some glue to the bottom. And we're going to close that up. Make sure everything is straight before you burnish. And you can use your bone folder or a cloth. And if you have any excess glue, you can just wipe that off. Now you can use a big hole punch or a die. I chose to use this one from the tag, pockets and butterfly dies. Just to indicate that this is a pocket. This also makes it easier to take stuff out. Now we're going to cut out this border to use as a pocket at the bottom, and then we're going to cut out this piece and place that here to fold down. Cut out a piece of Ivory cardstock just a bit smaller than the fold down flap. Take this stamp and place on a stamp block. Then the brick red ink pad. Sorry, that is my daughter. She just woke up, but anyway. You're gonna do some stamping at the bottom of your cardstock. And then we're gonna take the one that says warm wishes and place that in the corner like so. And then we have these tiny snowflakes, and you can just put those on your fingertips. This is a super easy way to stamp. And I'm just doing them randomly around the edge, so. Now I can distress the edges using the same red ink. And you decide how far you want to go in. And then we're going to take the black ink pad again and ink all the edges Also on the piece we just stamped on, just to give it a little more edge. Take your little border pocket and place glue on the sides and on the bottom. And you want this border piece to be as wide as the pocket, so it covers the bottom completely, like so. Then we're going to score this flap right above the gold frame. Add some glue to the top like we did with the waterfall cards, and place that on the pocket flap. Then we're just going to do some journaling lines on this one, and I am just drawing these in freehand, just kind of eyeballing it. I am using the measurements in my media mat to guide me, but I am mostly just eyeballing it. Add some glue to the back and place that right under the flap. Then we're just going to add a little tab using some of these stickers. I am using the one that says Joy on the inside. And then on the other side, I'm using this one. And make sure that they really stick together. Then we're going to take one of the big journaling cards, ink the edges, and just place that over the flap, holding it closed. Now for the other side, we're going to take this strip and cut that down to 12 by 4. Then we're going to score that, not in the middle, but at 5 7/8 from the bottom. Then we're going to fold that, and the top should stick out a little. Then we're going to ink the edges. Take this journaling card and cut all of that excess black off, leaving us just with the gold frame, like so. Ink the edges, and then we're going to do some more stamping, and we are going to start with the flowers this time. Now the exact size of the cardstock isn't that important, as long as it's small enough to go on the inside of the folder. Again, I am stamping with the red ink and adding some more of the small snowflakes, just like we did before. Distressing the edges and inking the edges with black ink. And now, instead of drawing journaling lines, I am going to draw a frame along with the edge all the way around. And when I am going into some stamping, I just skip and continue on the other side. And now it's ready to go inside the folder. And we're going to add this piece from the Ephemera pack. And we're going to add some glue to the back and place that underneath. Then we have this strip, and we're going to add that as kind of a pocket on the inside. But first we're going to line up where we need to cut to make it fit inside. And I'm just using my scissors this time. Make sure it fits inside before inking the edges. And then we're going to add glue to the edges, like so. And place that inside our folder. Close that up when it's dry, and then we can add the journaling card. Place that on top of the folder like this. Now you should be able to see the green all around the gold frame, and then add some glue to the back of the folder and place that on the pocket flap. Make sure to burnish, and then we're going to take these two stickers to make a tab. This one is going inside. Again, I'm using my media mat to guide me to find the middle, like so. And the other one is going on top of that one. Now we're gonna add some glue to the hinge, like so. And we're gonna place that on the left spine. I'm sorry that you can't see what I'm doing here, but the edge of the hinge is lining up with the edge of the spine piece. I hope you understand what I mean. Then we're just gonna make a quick paper clip to hold the big flap closed. So I'm just placing a normal paper clip over some leftover cardstock like this. And then I am taking one of the stickers. I'm using this one and placing over the paper clip. Trying to get it to line up with the edge of the paper. And when I'm sure it's stuck, I can cut it out and cut off all the excess cardstock. I'm also rounding the corners, ink the edges, and then I can place that over the flap so it's not going anywhere. Now we're going to use this sheet to make an insert. So we're going to cut this down to 4 3/4 by 12. And we're going to score that at 6 3/4 from the bottom. And fold that. Ink the edges with black ink. And then we're going to add this card as a flap. So we're going to ink the edges on that too. Score at 3/8 from the left side. Add your glue to the hinge and place the card in the bottom flap of the insert. Now take this sticker and place that in the middle of the top flap, like so. We're also going to use this border sticker, only the red one. I'm placing that at the bottom of the top flap, like this. And then we're going to cut off the excess sticking out. And I'm using my scissors only for sticky things. Now that is done, then we're going to slide it into the pocket. And now we're going to do the big waterfall in the middle of the album. So we're going to find these 5 big journaling cards and ink the edges on all of them. Then score them at 3/8 from the top. Each and every one of them. Then we're going to take this sheet from the patterns and solids and cut that down to 6 by 12. Then score it at 8 from the top. You should have this piece in your scraps, and we're going to cut off a piece of that at 7 inches. Then we're going to score that at 1/2 inch from each side, like so. Fold in the sides. And now it should fit as a pocket for your bottom flap. Before gluing it together, we're going to ink the edges with our black ink pad. And then from the back of the piece, add a tiny amount of glue on the top of the flaps and fold those in behind the bottom flap. It should look like this. Then we're going to do some quick pencil marks with 1 inch in between, so we know where to put all of our cards. The first one we're going to place at the bottom, so all the edges line up, like so. And press that down. And wipe off any excess glue. Then the next one we're going to place on top of that, right at the pencil mark. Remember to burnish. And then the next one we're going to place on top of that one. And the next one on top of that. And the last one on top of that. Make sure that all of them folds up before the glue dries completely. Then we're going to add a closure, and we're going to take this strip from our scraps and cut that down to 1 1/4 by 8 and score that at 6 inches and ink the edges. place the short end under the waterfall flap and glue that down. I'm using my media mat to find the middle here. Then we're going to place a couple of magnets. So I'm starting with the one on the top of the waterfall. And we're going to cover that up with a sticker and choosing this one. Just placing it over the magnet like so. And then we're going to place the other magnet on the closure. And we're going to cover that one up with this piece of chipboard. Add your glue to the magnet and the closure and place the chipboard on top. And then burnish from the bottom. And we have a nice magnetic closure. Then we're going to add some things inside. I'm starting with this sticker and placing that on the inside of the closure. And then we're going to take these die cuts from the Ephemera pack. And on this one, I'm only adding glue to the side and to the bottom. So I can still tuck something behind there. And placing that in the left corner at the bottom. And then I'm taking this one and only adding glue to the bottom and placing that on top of the flowers. Like so. Make sure you can tuck something behind. Now we're going to take this small journaling card and ink the edges with black ink. Add some glue to the sides and to the bottom and place that on top of the pocket. Now we have another small pocket on top of that one. Now I just need to glue the whole thing in, so I'm adding glue to only the small sides on the pocket piece, and then covering the top gold piece completely. Now we're not going to add any glue to the bottom at this point. Now we can place that in the middle of our album. Make sure that it's not upside down. And then we're going to cut out this little border piece and ink the edges. And add glue to the back of that and place that on the bottom under our pocket. Like so. And now the bottom of the pocket is closed, so we can put something in there without it falling out. And now we're moving on to the other big flap. We're going to take this sheet of paper and cut that down to 12 by 8. Score that at 1/2 inch, at 6 inches, and at 11.5. Fold it at the score lines. And ink the edges with black ink. Add your glue to one of the sides and to the bottom of the pocket and close that up. And again, use a die or a circle punch at the top of the pocket and ink the edges. Then take these journaling cards, ink the edges on those as well. Cut off the black edge on the big journaling card. Take this piece from your scraps and cut that down to 8 by 6. Score that in the middle at 4 inches and fold it. Ink the edges and find this in the Ephemera pack and this from your scraps. Then we're going to take this sticker and place it in the middle of the little scrap piece. I'm just placing the strip under the sticker and then I am cutting it off at the end, adding a little glue in each end and placing that on the left side of the little booklet. And then I'm adding glue to the side and the bottom of the die cut piece and placing it in the corner on the right side. So now we have a little booklet, and then we're going to take the journaling card and place it on top so we can just see the gold frame around it. Add some glue to the back and place the booklet on top of the pocket flap. Then we're going to take these two small stickers and use as tabs. And placing one inside and the other one on the outside, like so. Then on the other side of the big pocket flap, we're going to place the small journaling cards like this. And we're going to score them 3/8 from the side that they are going to open to. So like 2 of them are going to be scored on the right side, and then the last one is going to be scored from the left side. We're adding some glue to the hinges, and I'm starting with this one and placing that on the right side at the bottom, like so. And then with the next one, the hinge is going to be on the left side, and I am placing that on top of the other card. I'm just using this one to let me know where I want to put this. And then we're going to place the third one on top of that. And it's going to look something like this. Now we're going to make a double paper clip. So we're going to take a scrap and cut out a piece at 1 3/4 by 4 inches and score that in the middle. Then we're going to take a paper clip and slide that down over the folded side. And then we're going to take this sticker and I'm just carefully folding it to find out where the middle is. And then we're going to place the paper clip exactly in the middle and press down the sticker on the paper. Then we're going to fussy cut it, leaving a bit of the green showing under the sticker, and ink the edges. And now we can slide that down over our journaling cards, holding it all closed. Then we're going to add some glue to the hinge and place that on the right spine so the edge of the hinge lines up with the left side of the spine piece. Make sure it can close and burnish. Now we're going to make the other insert. So we're going to take this sheet and cut that down to 4 3/4 by 12. Score that at 5 1/4 from the top. Ink the edges. And then we're going to use this sheet from the 8 by 8. And then we're going to cut on the left side of that black edge. Then we're going to cut off the top piece, leaving us with this. And now with a craft knife, we're going to cut in between all of those small cut parts. I'm cutting about 1/8 of an inch from the edges, so be careful not to tear it. Now the next step is not totally necessary, but I'm going to take a small hole punch and make some holes at the end of all the lines, still about 1/8 from the edges. And these are just to indicate that you can slide something into the pockets. And if you do this, again, be super careful not to tear your paper, and ink the edges with black ink, and try to get in between all the pockets. Now we're going to add glue to the sides and to the bottom, and then we're going to cover the top piece completely in glue and place that at the bottom of your insert, like so. Make sure you don't have any glue under some of the pockets. And then we're going to take this journaling card and place that on top. So we're going to ink the edges and score it 3/8 from the left side. Add some glue to the hinge and place that on top. hiding our little pocket system. We're gonna take this sticker and place it on top of our insert, like so. Then we're gonna take this border and place that at the bottom of the top piece. I am about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, and cut off the excess. And now we can slide that insert into the pocket. Then we just need something on the right cover piece. And we're gonna take these two cut aparts and cut them apart. As you can see, one of them has the black edge on one side and the other on the other side. Ink the edges with black ink. Now the one with the black edge on the left top corner, we're gonna place at the bottom right corner. So add glue to the right side and to the bottom, and place that in the corner and press it down. Then take the other one and add glue to the bottom and the left side. And then place that right about here and press that down. Again, make sure you can tuck something behind there before the glue dries. Then we're gonna make the belly band, so we're gonna cut off some strips from the scraps we have left. These are 1 1/4, and these are 3/4, and these are 1 inch. Again, we're gonna ink the edges with the black ink pad on all of the strips. Take the 1 1/4 inch strips and glue them together, overlapping with about 5 inches. Then take the 1 inch strips and glue them on top, like so. And the other one. And then take the 3/4 strips with the pattern facing up and place those on top. Now this gives us a nice, thick, sturdy belly band once the glue has dried. Now burnish all of that and wipe off any excess glue. From your scraps, you're going to take this piece of chipboard and these 3 pieces of paper. Cut 2 pieces from the green one that is 5 by 5 and one at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Ink the edges. Now wrap your belly band around your album, bending it at all the corners. Be careful and do this slowly so you don't tear your paper. It's easiest to bend it up against the back of the album. Now glue one end down to the 5 by 5 piece, like so. Be sure to place it in the middle. And if you want to add magnets, now is the time to do it. This is totally optional. I used 18 magnets on my closure and that turned out to be way too much. So I recommend you use 10, 5 on each end instead of 9. Then you're going to take the other piece we just cut and place that on top, like so. Place the other half of the magnets on top and take your chipboard square piece and place them on top of the magnets so they stick to the chipboard. Of course, you need some adhesives for that. I'm using Scor tape. You don't have to do all the magnets at once. It's actually easier if you do just a couple at a time. And then glue the other end of the belly band to the piece of chipboard. And then you should have something that looks like this. Cut these two down to 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 and ink the edges. Glue the red one down on top of the magnets. And then glue the white one down on the other side. And then we're going to take this sticker and place that in the middle of our topper. Then we're going to use some foam tape under the frame of the sticker to give it a little dimension. And place that on the topper. Then take this piece from the ephemera and this from the chipboard. Add some glue and place it underneath the sticker frame. Then add some foam tape to the chipboard piece and place that under the sticker frame as well. And press that down. Now we can take the rest of this sheet from the 8x8 and fussy cut one of the stamps. Ink the edges and add some glue and place that on the top right corner. And that is it. We are done with the album. I hope you enjoyed making this with me. Please share your album on the Graphic45 official community page. Also go onto Graphic45's YouTube channel and watch the Halloween version of this. It's the Volume 8 album kit. Now please subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified about my upcoming videos. Happy crafting!